Laura here. Have you ever received an answer for guidance that you asked about, but the answer was something that you didn't agree with? Oh my! Let's talk more about this. Continue watching. Several years ago, we were invited to my brother's wedding. I talked to my husband about it, and I said, let me know if we should go, because if we receive guidance, I like to always follow the guidance. My husband came back and he sort of hemmed and hawed a little bit, but said, yeah, go ahead and book the hotel. We're going to your brother's wedding. I said, okay. We went to my brother's wedding, had a great time, came back, and a couple months later, my husband ended up telling me, we really weren't supposed to go to your brother's wedding. I was like, excuse me? And that's when he told me that the guidance was that we were supposed to go and visit his second mom who lives in another country. I said, so why didn't we do that? You want to explain that, hon?
Why are you looking at me like that?
So it can come from your mouth as to why we didn't follow the guidance? Why you altered the guidance?
Well, because number one, I know. Well, put yourself in your brother's situation. Mm-hmm. You go to your brother, or your brother comes to you and tells you, and you know nothing about the teaching. It's not something you're open to.
Right.
And he tells you, well, I received guidance that I should not be going to your wedding. I should be traveling out of the country with my spouse. How would you feel?
I'd feel like that was an excuse.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's why, I chose for us to go to the wedding, because there's no way he would understand. And you know how people go with events like those. They put so much emotions tied to those events that it's the most important thing in their lives, right?
Right.
So, and I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying we see it from a different perspective.
Correct.
But just because our perspective is different doesn't mean that we shouldn't respect somebody else's perspective. So that's why I said, well, you know what? I know we're supposed to go and visit my second mom, but we can do that anytime. Mm-hmm. So I negotiated the time frame with this and the masters there with that one.
Yeah, you negotiated that.
I sure did.
Uh-huh. And
I thought I did. How about that?
Turned out that we didn't get the opportunity to see her, and now she's crossed over.
Yeah.
So, it happens. That's a lesson learned. And
that's what, you don't spend time on it and beat up on yourself about it. You learn, okay. And I should know better, of anybody, I should know better because I deliver so much guidance.
Right.
But in that one, it just seemed logical that, there was enough time. And I stress logical because many times when someone chooses not to follow guidance, it's because they're using logic. And in the spiritual realm, there is no logic. I was using time. I said, oh, I have enough time. Well, in the spiritual realm, there is no time. So the two of the things that don't exist in the spiritual realm, I was using them very heavily to make that decision that I made, which turned out to be not a very good one. It was good for, we always say it should be for the highest good for everybody involved.
Yes.
That was not for the good of everybody involved, right?
Right.
It was good for your brother. It was good for us.
For my family, my brothers and sisters, my parents.
It was good,
yes.
But not good for my side of the family. But that's a good lesson there. It's a good way to start.
Indeed.
So what other examples do you have?
Well, one that we've talked about in other videos is a wonderful friend who, his wonderful car experience, who didn't follow the complete guidance he was supposed to in purchasing a vehicle.
Are you talking about David?
Yes, I am. I didn't want to say his name.
My nephew David.
David and his car. And he'll talk to you all about it and let you know, oh yes, follow the guidance. So he's had this expensive car that's just been sitting around. He's hardly driven it. And so he learned his lesson there.
Right. His guidance was what? Not to get, or there was a time frame, right?
There's a time frame, a specific kind of vehicle.
Right. and certain conditions were supposed to be in place before he purchased the vehicle, but he wanted the one that he has now.
Right.
So he chose to go get it. Why not? He could afford it, you know, why not?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about guidance, that if you have all the resources and it's something you want, why would you get guidance that's different from what you want, knowing that you have everything in place to make it happen?
Mm-hmm.
See, logically that doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
So it's easy to think, well, oh, Ken is just, that boy is just, I don't know, maybe.
That guidance is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, he must have just come up with that one himself.
You know, it's easy to do that. And then you fall for that human desire to just fulfill what you feel you deserve. That's part of what can cause a setback with accepting guidance. And then you learn your lesson. Again, it's a lesson. It's not a mistake, it's a lesson.
It's a lesson.
The Zen masters don't wind up hating you or getting mad at you, you know. What they do is they do their best to make our lives as stress-free as possible. Every guidance that they give is to reduce our stress or to eliminate potential stress.
And it's for your highest good as well as the highest good of everyone involved.
That's correct. And that's key, because sometimes people might receive guidance and they're thinking, well, this doesn't match, it doesn't make sense, because they only think about themselves. And when we're asking for guidance on behalf of anybody, it's always for the highest good of everybody involved. So some people you might not even be aware of because they're not involved yet. But because the Zen masters can see, because there is no timeline, right? There is no time or space. For them, it's happening right there. They can see all these people that will be involved in that decision that you're talking about, that situation. So whatever guidance they send is encompassing everybody. So as you encounter these people with this decision you've made, you might think, oh, this is a new person coming in. No, not according to the Zen masters, not according to the guidance you got. They were already included. That's why I find it very funny when some people will contact us and say, well, you know, and we've had this question so many times. Does guidance change?
No,
Guidance
it doesn't change.
It doesn't change. But keep in mind that guidance is very specific. So we might have an individual that asks guidance about, well, we could use our own example here with our kids, right? When we wanted them to, the girls to take violin lessons.
Oh, yes.
Right? We asked specifically about violin lessons. Very specific.
Yes.
And then our daughter said, well, what about piano?
Well, let me just say, we didn't even seek guidance first. We just told them, oh, we're going to enroll you in string lessons.
It sounded good.
It sounded great.
Because they're already playing.
They were doing well.
Right.
And then our daughter is like, I think you should check. I think you should see if the guidance says that I should continue playing violin.
No, she said she doesn't want to play.
Right.
Okay,
She didn't want to play.
right.
She's like, check.
Yep. And so that's when we checked. And the answer was, no, she shouldn't be playing violin. And she was doing fantastic. Her
She
teacher was
was.
all excited about how she was progressing the whole thing.
I said, are you sure, honey? Maybe you should double check.
See? Because you
She was
want,
a natural at it. I mean, why wouldn't she play?
because you have your desire, see?
Yes, see, I let the human element get in
And
the
they're
way.
like, you had it wrong. Go check again. You just made up that answer.
That was your bias.
Exactly. Right? So
No, it really
now-
wasn't, because he wanted her to play too. We were like, what? How
Hold on.
could this be?
Hold on, so now, go past that. And then she asked, well, as long as you're checking, how about if we check piano? Because she lost playing the piano. Right? And we checked piano, and sure enough, that was fine. But if you notice, 2 specific questions. Somebody
Yes.
could easily take that and say, well, does that mean she shouldn't play music? No, see? That we didn't ask about guidance about whether or not she should play music. We asked about whether or not she should play the violin.
Right.
So somebody now might take that as, well, guidance changed then because now she's playing a different instrument. Guidance didn't change. We asked about a specific instrument. And the next time we asked, it was another specific instrument. It didn't change. It was very specific. And that's why we ask individuals, when they're requesting guidance, sometimes we get back to, we contact them again and look at, narrow this down.
We
What
need more
exactly are you asking?
specifics. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then that way we can let them know, with regards to this, here's your guidance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to make it general. You want to be specific.
Right.
So that you don't come back and ask us, well, did it change this time? Because some people wish it changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know we've had folks where they've asked for guidance about, well, should I enter into this relationship with this individual? And the guidance is not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing we know, they tell us what? Oh, well, we're dating. Okay, you got the guidance. But what's interesting, they always tell us, they always give us details. That, well, I felt like this was really good. It felt so natural.
Uh-huh.
You know, I felt like it was a sign.
It was meant to be.
They always have signs. You know,
Yes.
when you want something, you'll find signs, right?
Right.
Just like if you don't want something, you'll find signs as to why it shouldn't be that way as well.
Indeed.
But you're right, it's meant to be, all this stuff. They found so many signs for it to happen. Next thing we know, it didn't work out. Now what? Okay. Then, later on, this person contacts them again. And then, what do? They contact and say, well, did guidance change? Could
Right.
you check and see if we should be in a relationship?
And the guidance is still the same. No,
The
it's
last time we checked-
non-beneficial.
Exactly. The last time we checked, it said that it's not a good idea. We didn't say for spring or summer or winter.
Right.
We said a relationship period, you know, like, it's different then. Now, if we were supposed to, like, should they have a relationship for the spring time? Then we go back and check about winter, because, but nobody wants to have a relationship just for spring, right?
Right.
So
It's
that's
just a
why-
relationship in general.
That's correct. So, guidance doesn't change, folks, about a specific thing. Now, if it's a different situation, we'll check. So anyway, go ahead. I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, another one that comes to mind is your second wife.
What happened to her?
Not what happened to her.
Oh, okay.
She received guidance that
Oh,
she
yes.
should go back to school. Okay, now I'm
Yeah.
saying his second wife. She's really, we're that close that she could be his second wife if.
She is my second wife.
But they're not married.
And the
Okay,
spiritual level,
on the
which is
spiritual
more
level.
important than the physical marriage.
Anyway, she was given guidance that she should go back to school and get a degree. And
In education.
in education, and she just no, she had all these reasons and excuses. A year went by and the guidance was still the same, so she finally gave in and got her degree. But during that year, man, it was just one thing after another for her, and
I just left her alone. I was
yeah.
done. She's like, no, I don't want to teach. Okay. I
But
just
then
deliver guidance.
when she got done, she's like, "Oh, I see why I was supposed to know how to learn how
She's
to teach."
good at it,
She's
exactly.
very good.
You know, she's very good at it. So that's how it goes, folks. That sometimes it will not be what you want to hear.
That's right. May
It's
not even be what you want to
expect.
do.
That's correct. Especially that one. It's not what you want to do. But if you do it knowing, if you engage with it knowing that the Ascended Masters have only your best interest in mind and the people around you, then guess what? You do it with total excitement. You know, as much as you don't want to do it, you know that it's the best thing for you because the Ascended Masters are guiding you. It's not me guiding you. It's not me making up some stuff for you. Believe me. Okay? It's them giving you the guidance, and I just deliver it to you. So when you get it, no matter what it is, just have fun with it.
Indeed.
You know, go for it 100%. Don't hesitate. And if you do hesitate, which is a normal human reaction,
Right.
Attack it though with excitement, because the moment you're doing it like a child that's upset with a bad attitude, then of course that's what you experience. The results will be negative. You know,
Right.
because you're putting out the wrong frequency. You're putting out negative frequency.
Do it wholeheartedly with love.
That's
Just
correct.
go in and enjoy the whole experience.
It's like what I always say to my wife when we get guidance about something, when I feel like gotten guidance about something. Because the way I get guidance is different, okay? I don't go checking, it just comes. I'll tell my wife, okay, this is what we should be doing. And there are many times it's not something that I want to do at all. It's not logical to me, it doesn't make sense. And that's how I normally do things, right? By logic.
Right. Yep. It can even be sometimes a daily thing where I'll be in the middle of taking care of a project here at home And then all of a sudden, my husband will come and say, "Stop what you're doing. We're supposed to go out to this place right now." I'm like, "I'm in the middle of something." And she's like, "We're supposed to go right now." But then when we get to that place, there's a reason why we're supposed to go right at that moment. And I'm like, "Oh, I get it now. Okay, well, my project is still there at home. I can finish it later." But, it was good that we went because
Whatever it was.
we got whatever benefit we were supposed to.
Exactly, right? But when those happen, what do I normally say? I say, "Oh, well, it'll be interesting to see how this turns
Yes.
out." Right? That's what I
We'll see
normally
what
say.
happens. I don't know why we're going.
And so if you take that approach, it's like, you know what? I might not agree with this, but I look forward to see how this is going to turn out. You know it's going to turn out well. So when you say you look forward to see how it's going to turn out, it's not because you expect anything negative, because it will not be negative, believe me. It's for your highest good and the highest good of everybody involved. So it will be positive. You just don't know what it is. It's like that, who described it as like being a kid about to receive a gift for Christmas or something, or like the night before Christmas, they can't sleep, they're all excited, right?
Right, because they know they're going to be getting their gifts and opening them.
Bingo. So that's what it is. You're getting a present, a very good present. You just don't know what's inside that bloody
Box.
thing that's wrapped, right? That's all it is. That's part of the excitement. So just do it with be excited like that little kid, because it will be good. That's how you accept guidance. No matter what it is, just know that you're the one that's flexible. You know that, okay, it might not be what I want, it might not be what I even expect. That's okay. It might even be something I didn't even think about, and that happens a lot, right? Like you just like, what?
Indeed.
Where did that come from? That happens a lot. Well, they just go, okay, I'm sure this is going to be exciting. I don't know what it is, but or how it's going to turn out, but here we go, and they just go for it. So that's accept that. I guess that's just saying the attitude you should have towards it.
Yes.
Any other examples?
Outside
That's
of
it
our
for you.
own. There are
Well,
some, but
even-
they're still in progress
Well,
that I know of.
even for us, when we were moving here,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
we were told the price of the home.
We were told what the property would look like.
Yep. It had
what
to
the-
have a pond. It had
Yes.
to have a creek. The number of bedrooms,
Number of
the
bathrooms.
size of the land.
Yep.
So we knew that. The only thing is, Elmore never told me where. Yeah, see, that's a good one. You'd think that they'd be like, well, go to this city,
Right.
and it will be. At least they could have said, go to this city. That would have really.
That would have helped.
right?
Or at least go to that state or
Right.
go to this country or
But that's
something.
That's not what it was.
No, it
was-
wasn't.
It was like, this is what it looks like, and here's the price that you'll pay.
Right.
Like, okay, and we searched for months,
Yes.
different states. before we
Actually,
wound up
almost
here.
like 2 years, I think we were searching.
See?
Because we were searching for in other countries. We thought, oh, well, we're probably leaving the United States, to get something like that. No.
So just to show you how if you just follow the guidance with excitement, it will come. And once we found this place, we drove up to it. It was like we both said,
This is
"This
it.
is it." Even before we drove up to the house.
Right.
Because
Just at the bottom of
house
the
is what,
driveway.
right. It was like what? How many yards is it from?
It's like an eighth of a mile.
Okay, to get to the house. But we just saw part of the house, and my wife said, "Ooh, this is it." And then once she walked into the house, to be honest with you, I stayed outside. I was not even interested in coming into the house. My wife and the realtor got into the house. But we already knew. The only thing was, where was the creek?
Right.
It's not a pond, but where's the creek? And then we found the creek later on. But that's how specific things can get as far as your guidance. That doesn't mean, though, that it will be easy for you to get it. It might take some time. Some people might be thinking, oh, well, since it's so specific, I know exactly where it is. No, we didn't know. People still ask us to this day, how did you wind up in this city? And after all, we just decided to just tell them, God sent us here. Yeah,
Yep.
really, that's what it was.
That's all it is.
We don't know how else to explain it. Yeah, we never heard of this city, nothing. We didn't plan on living here.
We knew nothing about this area.
But once we woke up the next morning, we're like, okay, we know why we're here. And that was it. So, accept the guidance with excitement. It's okay to question it, but even though you have questions, you might even have doubts, put them aside and just go for it, because that whatever is coming is for your benefit and the benefit of everybody involved.
Yep, that sums it up.
Oh.
We look forward to hearing your stories.
Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.